Have you ever looked at your cat and felt like they're just a tiny, furry person trapped in a cat's body? The way they stare, the way they judge your life choices. I used to think it was all in my head, but that was before the day my cat, Milo, decided to prove me wrong. This isn't just a cute cat story. This is the story of the day. My cat tried to become human, and it started with something so small, so simple, it sent a chill down my spine. It began on a quiet Tuesday morning. The sun was just peeking through the curtains, and my alarm started its annoying buzz. I was about to reach for my phone, but before I could even move, Milo, with the precision of a bomb disposal expert, leaped onto the bedside table, raised a single paw, and tapped the snooze button. Perfectly. I froze. Did my cat just turn off my alarm? He blinked at me, twice, slow and deliberate, then turned and walked away with the swagger of an overworked employee heading into another Monday. That's when I knew. This was not a normal cat. If you've ever seen your cat do something that made you question reality, hit that subscribe button because you're going to want to hear what happened next. A little later, I stumbled into the kitchen to make some breakfast, and there was Milo, already sitting at the table. Not on the floor, not on the counter, but on a dining chair, perched perfectly upright. His tail wrapped neatly around his paws like a sophisticated gentleman. I poured myself some cereal, and he watched me with the intense focus of a food critic. Just for fun, I placed a tiny bowl of his favorite treats in front of him. He didn't pounce. Instead, he looked at the bowl, then at me, then delicately dipped a single paw into it, as if he were testing the temperature of a fine tea. I burst out laughing, but he didn't even flinch. He just gave me a look that said, "Is there a problem here?" Later that morning, it was time to work. Emails, deadlines, you know the drill. But Milo apparently decided he was my new intern. He jumped onto the chair beside me and started pawing at my keyboard. At first, I thought it was just him being playful, but then he managed to open 17 browser tabs and typed a string of characters that looked like some kind of alien code. He looked up at me so proudly, as if he was saying, "See? I'm helping with the TPS reports." When I gently moved the mouse away from him, he shot me a glare that I've only ever seen from a coworker whose brilliant idea I just stole. By the way, if this is making you smile, do me a favor and give this video a like. It really helps Milo's story reach more cat lovers out there. Over the next few days, the weirdness escalated. He started sitting with us at the dinner table, not to beg for food, but just to be part of the conversation, it seemed. He'd wait for me to finish eating and then give a slow, thoughtful nod. When I watched TV, he'd sit right beside me on the couch, his eyes glued to the screen. And I swear he would sigh dramatically whenever I changed the channel away from a nature documentary. He even started waiting for me outside the bathroom door, standing guard like a tiny, furry bodyguard. Sometimes, I'd catch his eye from under the door, and I was convinced he was thinking, "Everything okay in there? Human, you're taking a while." But the moment that really got me was one evening when I caught him staring into a full-length mirror. He wasn't just looking at his reflection, he was studying it. He slowly raised a paw and touched the cool glass, his head tilted. It was like he was genuinely confused, trying to understand who that other cat was. For a few long seconds, the whole house went completely silent. And in that quiet moment, I thought, maybe he's asking the mirror, "What makes you human?" And me not. It was profoundly strange and beautiful all at once. Then came the laptop incident. I had left my computer open on the coffee table and walked away for just a minute to grab a drink. When I came back, Milo was sitting directly in front of it, completely mesmerized. He was watching a YouTube video of other cats. He leaned in closer, tilted his head from side to side, and then gently, so gently, touched the screen with his paw and let out a soft little meow. It was like he was trying to communicate with the cat in the video to reach through the screen and say hello. That moment gave me actual chills. He wasn't just watching, he was trying to connect. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it all. Maybe our pets understand so much more than we give them credit for. Maybe they've been observing us for centuries, learning our habits, our emotions, even our kindness. As I turned off the lights and got into bed, Milo curled up beside me, like he always does. But this time, he reached out and placed his paw gently on my hand. There was no purring, no sound, just the warmth of his paw on my skin. And somehow, in that silent gesture, he said everything. If you're still watching right now, you're officially part of Milo's little world. Go ahead and subscribe to join us, because we have so many more stories like this coming your way. The very next morning, I woke up late. My alarm had gone off, and I'd slept right through it. I expected to see Milo sunbathing by the window, his usual spot. But he wasn't there. I found him in the kitchen, sitting patiently in front of the coffee maker. When he saw me, he looked up at me, then looked pointedly at my empty mug, and meowed. Twice. It wasn't a normal feed, meow. It was a clear, concise statement that sounded exactly like, "You forgot this." I couldn't stop laughing. In that instant, I didn't feel like I had a pet. I felt like I had a tiny, furry roommate who was slightly disappointed in my morning routine. Later that same day, I was having a bit of a tough time. I was sitting quietly on the couch, lost in my own thoughts, feeling pretty down. Milo must have sensed it. He climbed up beside me, didn't try to play or ask for anything, but just rested his head on my lap and stayed there. He didn't purr. He didn't move. He just stayed. He offered his quiet presence. No human friend could have said or done anything better than what he did in that silent moment. And that's when I realized maybe he wasn't trying to be human. Maybe he was trying to show me what being human is really about empathy, connection, and just being there for someone. Now, every time Milo sits like a person or gives me that little judgmental stare from across the room, I just smile, because I don't think he's copying us anymore. I think he's reminding us to live more simply, to love more deeply, and to pay attention to the small, beautiful moments that make up a life. So yes, my cat tried to be human for a day. But in the end, he reminded me how to be one, too. They say that pets reflect their owners, but I've learned that sometimes it's the other way around. If Milo's story touched your heart, please subscribe for more true stories from the animal world, because every pet has a voice, and we're here to help share it. Thanks for watching!